All right, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, so this is the second of the two finished versions of the Daviess County bourbon there is. So this is Lux Row, 96 proof. 96 proof.
Yep.
And it is Cabernet finished. So way back we did the Thomas S. More Cab, and that was very much a hit. So I'm excited to see how this actually stacks up for you guys. I think I liked the Thomas S. More a little bit more, but price point wise, it's hard to argue.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
It's sweet.
Sweet.
Lots of raspberry and strawberry, Twizzlers.
This is one of those ones where it's like a homemade, very sugary jam.
Yes. I'm not getting a lot of typical bourbon notes except for a little bit of caramel. And the nose isn't super strong either. Like you can tell it's sweet, but like it's not punching you in the face.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I really like the nose on this.
It's really good.
So let me just start by saying, the finish has so much chocolate on it.
Yes, a ton of chocolate, ton of Twizzler, and ton of raspberry.
This is like if Hershey's made a whiskey, to be honest with you. We're just listing different Hershey's candies.
I actually think I like this better than Thomas S. More.
I actually might have to agree with that.
See, I like the More a tiny bit more, but that's just because the More had more chocolate notes to it. But this one, that Twizzler note, it has a really nice. It's a really nice blend. It's fruit throughout the whole thing, and the chocolate sort of shows up. Mm-hmm. And then I notice as the finish lingers, it tastes like a melted Hershey bar.
Yep.
I really like this.
This is $45. Thomas S. More was $70.
God damn, I need to buy a bottle of this.
This, I feel like, is a better deal.
It's a better deal, easily. Now, I'm partial to 1792, but I don't know, Lux Row is getting up there for me, too.
Do you guys still have any of this?
Yeah.
I might have to hold the bottle.
There's a bunch of places that still have this. It's not selling.
It's not selling fast, no.
Creamery didn't have it whenever I was there today. So.
Bourbon Galleries are going to sell out of everything because people go in expecting to find something. They don't find anything. They just grab something.
Yeah, I'm in the morning, I'll hold it.
It's moments like this that I'm glad these videos don't have a big following.
Why?
Because if there are nice bottles that are a good deal,
Oh, I get what you're getting
people
at.
who watch will go for them.
This is true. It's kind of nice not having a ton of influence, but being able to just say what we want to say about it.
Right.
For the couple people who do want to see it. So
I mean,
that, and again, especially if I need to remember how something was that I don't have anymore, it's easy for me to go back and see, oh, I liked that a lot, let's get it. Also, he said he's going to join us for a pour too. So.
okay.
I haven't even met this dude before, but he's a nurse at the Children's Hospital, so he's got to be a good person.
Yeah.
He's also trading a bunch of samples, and he's traded with other people, so other people vouch for him anyway. But this is so good.
This is delicious.
And this is just proven, because this is Lux Row distillate now. This is proven that not only do I like their, because the other Lux Row stuff, they source it from, I think it's still Heaven Hill, even with the purchase by MGP. I think that was more of just an acquiring than a actual change of anything for now. But like, they do all the aging, they do the whole barrel picks and everything. They do their own stuff. The Lux Row Double Barrel is their own thing.
Right.
And this is their own thing that they are experimenting with finishing, like doing what Makers does, but with the barrel instead of the stave, and then doing what other distilleries are doing with the dry red wine.
I gotta say, well, sorry.
No, and I was gonna say, and they're definitely, I mean, they're easily top 3 for me. I'm almost to the point where I might put them above 1792 soon.
That's impressive.
I'm hesitant, but they're both really close, and the Makers is just in a league of its own for me.
Yes. Yeah, I gotta say, these are two of the best finishes I've had in a long time for the best prices. Like, the French Oak gives Makers 46 a run for its money.
It does.
Sure. And then this is better than the Thomas More. Almost.
it's one of those ones where it is very close, and given the price difference, that's impressive. That's
Yeah.
very, very close.
I think the only thing that the Thomas More has on this is that it's not as hot. This is
Right.
a little spicier.
I agree. Yeah.
Right.
And that's the only plus I'll give it. Everything okay?
But, I mean, it does work really well in this whiskey, so
It does.
I'm not one to complain about that.
Yeah, the
No.
spice is definitely nice, but I love the sweeter fruit notes and the chocolate. And the fruit notes don't come out quite as much from the Thomas S. More.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
I-
that's
It,
why.
it comes out more.
Keep in
as
mind,
wine.
too,
Yeah.
this is aged for about 6 months in the barrels. Thomas S. More was up to upwards of 3 years.
Yeah, and that's why.
So that is that is where a lot of your, and that's where the price differential comes in too.
the price, the fact that it did taste more wine-like than fruity and candy-like.
And I think that's where I like this a little bit better.
Like that was more
because-
matured, but this is more reminiscent of truer bourbon notes, or just a
Right.
true finished bourbon. Whereas the
Right.
other one is meant to be a legitimate experiment. This is a finish that is an experiment, but like people do finishing all the time. It's that extended finishing that's something
Yeah.
new for bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is
They're kind
both of these Daviess counties really impress me.
So here's a question for you:
Yes.
Daviess County or Bowman Brothers?
Daviess.
Interesting.
For batch crops. For a single barrel, I mean, there's no competition because Daviess County doesn't have a
Yeah.
single barrel that you can buy.
Right.
But because I love Bowman single barrel, but in terms of small batch stuff, I'd pick these. But
Yeah.
again, even that's hard to compare because their only Bowman finish was a port,
Yeah.
which I didn't like because I don't like port.
Mm-hmm.
See what I do like port, and I really did like that.
I was gonna say, and a lot of people I know have also liked it. So like,
Yeah. Honestly, this is what I would imagine from a port finish with, like, again, the sweet raspberry.
this is what I wish a
notes.
port finish was,
You-
because
you
port
should-
finish is so much more relevant
Yeah.
or
like,
prevalent.
Like it. This brings out the sweetness I would expect from a port, whereas most port finishes come off as almost syrupy. But
Now keep in mind, this is a 4-grain mash bill.
oh,
Because
that's
it is
right.
a blend of a
That's
wheated
right.
and a high rye, with small amounts of malt and barley from each. So that could have a little bit of a play on it, is that they are Cabernet finishing a slightly wheated bourbon.
That could play a part too. Yeah.
So I mean, there's so many variables, but again, when it comes down to it, you're comparing them for what they are, not for all the little parts of it.
Yeah. Because honestly, I'm thinking about giving up hope on any port finishes, unless this upcoming one changes my mind.
Then you might have to look into some MGP port finish.
Yeah, because I will say the flavor on Midwinter's Night's Dram was good, but the heat made it
Yeah, the
impossible
heat
for me to
was-
drink. I can't drink it and enjoy it.
I have a tiny bit of it left, and I'm waiting for, because it was an expensive bottle, I'm waiting for that to be a celebratory pour. I gave Drew the last sample I'm ever going to give anybody of it, because
Yeah.
I'm down to so little of it.
Honestly, you let it sit for 3 months and maybe some of that heat goes away.
It's been sitting for more than that. It's been sitting for about 10.
That's fair.
It's been sitting for about 7 or 8 months at a pretty low level, too.
Yeah,
But-
so the heat should have dissipated a little bit at this point.
Yeah, I'll revisit it as a little, one of my little review things I posted. Because we're whiskey friends, I'll revisit it. But, yeah, I hope these stick around, because I'll keep buying this
For sure.
easily.